All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling one of the toughest puzzles for anyone starting out. How do you prove you have the skills for a job when you don't have the formal job experience? We're going to get into exactly how to do that. We've all been there, right? It's that classic, frustrating catch-22. It feels like this impossible loop you can't get out of. But what if I told you there's a strategic tool, something designed specifically to shatter that cycle? Well, the trick is to completely change your approach. You have to go from telling to showing. You see, a resume, it just tells an employer what you claim you can do. A portfolio, on the other hand, it shows them. It's tangible, verifiable proof of your abilities. And honestly, that's a total game changer. So let's really unpack this show, don't tell idea and get to the heart of the tool that makes it so incredibly powerful. We call it a skills-proof portfolio, and you should really think of it as your personal credibility package. It's not just some random folder of projects. No, it's a carefully built case that argues why you are the right person for the job. It shifts the entire conversation away from the job titles you don't have and puts the spotlight directly on the talent you do have. This one idea, showing, not just telling, this is the foundation for everything we're talking about. When you show your work, you're not just making a claim that someone has to take your word for. You're giving them hard evidence. You're letting that hiring manager see your skills in action for themselves. And a really great portfolio is so much more than just your work samples. I mean, look at this. It's the whole shebang. It weaves together your resume, your credentials, and what I like to call credibility builders, things like testimonials or awards, to tell a complete story about who you are and what you're capable of. Okay, I can hear you thinking it now. This sounds great, but I don't have any work samples because I don't have experience. I get it. And that's exactly what this next part is all about. This is the how-to. We're going to walk through exactly how you can create your own experience from scratch. First things first, you gotta have a target. This table shows you what skills employers are absolutely starving for right now. Just look at AI fluency and data science. In fact, get this, one source is projecting that by 2025, being proficient with AI will be as basic a requirement as knowing how to use a computer. So use these hot areas to focus your efforts. Now here is probably the most powerful strategy of all. Stop waiting for someone to give you experience and start creating it yourself with personal projects. When you build something on your own time, you are sending a massive signal to employers about your drive, your passion, and your desire to grow. Those are amazing qualities that you just can't list on a resume. And really, the sky's the limit here. You could build a simple app, you could grab a public data set and analyze it, or even redesign the logo for a local shop. The key is to think like a startup and create what they call a minimum viable product, or MVP. Just start small, get something working, and then document your entire journey. Okay, another fantastic way to build your portfolio is through skills-based volunteering. Now, this isn't just about showing up to help out. This is strategic. It's about using your professional skills to help a good cause, which in turn gives you incredible material for your portfolio. Just imagine offering to do IT support for a local charity or running their social media accounts. And check this out, according to our source, this kind of strategic volunteering is 95% more effective at building real job-related hard skills than traditional volunteering. Plus, you're developing all those crucial soft skills like communication and leadership in a real-world environment. It's a win-win. So, you've built some projects, you've volunteered your skills, now what? Well, the next step is absolutely crucial. You have to present them in the right way. It's not enough to just show off the final result. You have to tell the story behind it. Please remember this. You have to resist that temptation to include every single thing you've ever done. Pick 3 to 6 of your absolute best, most relevant projects. A few stellar pieces create what's called a halo effect. It makes all of your other skills seem that much more polished and impressive. So, how do you tell that project story? It's simple. Just follow this incredibly powerful 3-step framework. For every single project, start with the problem. What was the challenge? Then, describe your process. What steps did you take? What tools did you use? What went wrong? And finally, detail the outcome. What were the results? And just as important, what did you learn? This shows not just what you did, but how you think. Okay, this right here, this is what we see all the time on a resume. It's so vague, it tells me what you were responsible for, sure, but it says nothing about your impacts. Honestly, it's just forgettable. But now look at this. This is the portfolio way. It's concrete, it's compelling, it shows a direct positive business result. This translates your actions into real, tangible value. And that is exactly what an employer is looking for. And that right there, that number, 25%, that's the power of data. That's what makes your contribution real and memorable. A single, quantified result like this is so much more persuasive than any vague statement could ever be. Okay, you've created your own experience. You've crafted compelling stories around your projects. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, getting your portfolio seen and making sure it has the maximum possible impact. So where does this portfolio live? Well, a personal website gives you total control over your brand, which is why it's a top choice. But specialized platforms can be amazing too. Think Behance for designers or GitHub for developers. You can even make a killer portfolio right on your LinkedIn profile. The best choice really just depends on your field. Now this, right here, this is your secret weapon. I'm serious. You should never send out a generic one-size-fits-all portfolio. For every single job you apply for, go through the job description, pull out the keywords, and then customize your portfolio to match. This does two critical things. First, it helps you get past those automated resume scanners, the ATS systems, and second, it proves to the human on the other end that you've done your homework. And finally, it's so important to remember that building a portfolio isn't a one-and-done project. It's really the start of a whole new mindset, one that's all about continuous growth. You have to treat your portfolio like a living document. It should grow and evolve right along with you. As you learn new skills, add them. As you finish new projects, update it. A portfolio that's always current shows you're committed to lifelong learning, you have an agile career mindset, and that is incredibly valuable in today's world. Ultimately, this all comes down to taking control of your own story. You have the skills, you have the potential. The portfolio is simply the tool that lets you prove it to the world. So the only question left is, how are you going to tell their story?